Now, we knew that Microsoft was in line to see a lot of success with the launch of Starfield, which has officially happened, and we are not disappointed. I have to say, I'm actually pretty shocked at how much this shows that Microsoft knows what they're doing. So many people are super quick to judge Microsoft with every little thing that they do. And so it's really nice to see that when things like this come about, that, hey, we can look at what their strategy is and understand where they're coming from. I haven't always been on board with their strategy. I've always kind of thought, console gaming is console gaming, PC gaming is PC gaming, everything else is everything else. Let's keep it kind of separate. And for the most part, I still kind of feel that way. Like, I'll never game on a PC. I don't game on mobile. I think that's silly. I don't like mobile games. I don't like cloud gaming. I obviously would never do that. But when you have those options, there's other people out there other than myself that would like to do some of those things. So it is very interesting to see that some of the success that has coming out. But again, I love seeing this, So anyway, I wanted to get into it. Let's go ahead and get started. Listen, what is the biggest success you've looked at Xbox, right? What is like the biggest success measurer looking back at Xbox's history? To me, it was always something that we don't see anymore on Xbox or PlayStation or really anything, which is concurrent players on a certain game. Now, Halo 3, we all remember that picture, right? There's still a picture floating around on the internet where you can Google concurrent Halo 3 thing. And this was just on Xbox 360 back in the day. Over 1 million concurrent, and that's on Xbox 360. We used to pull numbers like that, right? Crazy. We don't do that anymore. And, so when you see concurrent numbers of Starfield topping that, I think it really just kind of blows my mind. So Xbox and Microsoft has confirmed that Starfield topped 1 million concurrent players on launch day, which is tremendous. Phil Spencer confirmed this news, and that really kind of tells us everything we need to know. Following 5-day early access period for customers who pre-ordered Starfield's Premium Edition or Constellation Edition, Bethesda's new IP was released on September 6th for Xbox, PC, Windows, and Steam, as well as Game Pass. Starfield exceeded 1 million concurrent players across all platforms today, according to Phil Spencer. Thanks to all the players who helped us reach this great milestone, and congrats to the Bethesda Game Studios. A breakdown of which platforms players were using at the time wasn't provided. Starfield hit almost 250,000 concurrent players in its first 2 hours on Steam when it released early access. The game's peak on Steam surpassed almost 270,000 after it went on general sale on Wednesday. Now, keep in mind, the people that are playing it on Steam bought the game. You have to buy it on Steam. There's no Game Pass on Steam, so they had to buy the game. So almost 300,000 people concurrently likely paid $100 for that edition. In November of 2021, Microsoft said Forza Horizon 5 had achieved the biggest launch in history, attracted more than 10 million players in its first week. But Starfield director Todd Howard recently said the game's Xbox console exclusivity resulted in the creation of a better product. When you're making something exclusive, then the more you can focus on, he said. This is where the hardware or the thing that people are playing on, so the ability to focus always yields a better product. Critical reception to the game has been largely positive, with Xbox Series X and S and PC versions sitting at 87 and 86 respectively. Obviously, a lot of people are talking about this now. Now, the interesting thing about this is I saw a lot of the PlayStation fan base trying to actively downplay this, which realistically was silly. It's completely silly to think about, right? Like, why downplay this and try to go, oh, only 1 million players? Apparently, a lot of PlayStation fans don't know what concurrently means, right? Meaning at the same time. So they all were hyping up the concurrent number of Baldur's Gate on Steam, which this surpassed that, by the way, right? It surpassed it. Concurrently, God of War had like 42,000 players on it at one time, right? On Steam. So again, when you're looking at this, you can't just go, oh, well, they only announced 1 million. People stop listening, right? That's a huge problem with the world in general these days. They hear what they want to hear and they tune everything else out. So they hear 1 million players and they think, oh, only 1 million players played the game. No. There was, in fact, multiple millions of players playing the game between Steam and Xbox pre-release, right? So I'm positive Microsoft is going to announce that this is the biggest all-time game they've had for Game Pass. I would expect that they're going to come out and announce 20 plus million here in a week or two and just kind of blow everybody away for kind of like breaking records and things like that, because this game is really doing that. Also, I just want to say that really quickly, I understand that, you know, people are really kind of going out of their way to understand how things go with Xbox. And what I mean by that is, to be quite honest about this, Xbox tends to get the short end of the stick all the time. And that's super unfortunate. You know, but now so many sites are realizing, and this was funny how this came about. Somebody actually made a mod on the PC version of Starfield that shows the PlayStation Studios splash screen instead of the Xbox Studios ones, right? It's kind of deranged if you think about it, but again, some of the jokes from actual people in the media were like, well, maybe that'll mean the game will get higher scores now. Like, it's funny that the open joke and the open truth about Xbox games is that they get the shaft from reviewers, right? People are still looking, there's still handfuls of people in the industry that look at Xbox as an outsider, and instead of looking at the product as something that stands alone and that's great on its own, they're looking at this product as something that is part of a big conglomerate or whatever that's trying to, you know, quote unquote, ruin gaming or whatever, which is just complete and utter nonsense. So, you know, again, when I look at this and I say, hey, you know, this is one of those things that everybody has to kind of look at and just say, hey, this is a huge deal, okay? Xbox getting something like this, who would have thought it? So many narratives were completely destroyed. People said, literally said this, right? They said Xbox will never, or Game Pass, thanks to Game Pass, will never get a complete game. They'll never get a quality game. They'll never be able to launch these types of games in Game Pass. It won't support it, etc., etc. And they've found a way to do it. So before you, if you're a PlayStation fan and you're watching this and you're trying to jump on that 1 million thing, just keep in mind what concurrent means, because it's kind of sad that grown people don't understand what concurrent means. Honestly, I'm flabbergasted that so many people are so ignorant on the term that I have to explain to them what it means. Yes, 1 million concurrently or 1+ million concurrently means at the same time. That is not indicative of how many millions have played the game not at the same time, right? Everybody's, you know, there's people in different time zones, you know, there's just not one place. Like, there's more than just one area of the world. So there's different time zones, that different peaks that people can play. And I just think it's outrageous that people try to look for something negative in this. That's how you can tell Microsoft has landed on something great, right? Whenever I post something, a screenshot of Starfield, say something about Starfield or retweet about something Starfield, if you look at the replies, it's 90% PlayStation fanboys who are upset and trying to go, whoa, compare it to this game Metacritic-wise, or compare it to that, or compare it to this, or compare it to that, right? It's like PlayStation fans literally cannot take an L. They refuse to do it. They refuse to let it happen, even though it happens. It, like, every day I had someone on social media try to throw something in my face because I said Starfield will end up, when it's all said and done, with 50+ million players, right? And they were like, oh, they still got a long way to go on Twitter this morning. And I'm like, you do realize that this is concurrent versus what I said. And I said that they would hit 20 to 30 million players relatively quickly, 50 million plus when it's all said and done. And I stand by that, right? But to try to jump on the 1 million concurrent thing is kind of ignorant. And I just, you know, I don't know. If you're a PlayStation fan, fine. But be better than this is what I'm saying. So anyway, let me know what y'all think. I appreciate it. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.